Naruto is hardly a violent work, but even in the world of the ninja there are some scenes that are shockingly violent. Today I'm going to tell you about the most violent deaths in Naruto. Shisui. Compared to the rest of the guys on our list, he got off pretty easy, but let's not forget that he was basically dying blind. Before that, Danzo took out one of his eyes, and taking out an eye is a very painful procedure. So what does an exhausted Shisui do? He rips out his other eye. Of course it doesn't look like it hurts, he's even smiling. But don't forget that true ninja have to learn to endure the most intense pain, and then the totally blinded Uchiha falls into the river from a great height, and I guess the river's not deep enough for him to survive without hitting the bottom at that speed. Conan. Exhausted after a hard fight, Mistress Angel was clearly not prepared for her opponent to be alive. The masked man piercing her with a pipe, which is painful but not lethal, at least by Naruto's standards. The real brutality is not in the wounds, but in how fiercely and ruthlessly Madara kills her. He grabs her by the throat and a long time suffocates her, which the anime shows in great detail. Kaiza. You probably don't remember this guy, as he was only mentioned cursorily. Kaiza was a brave fisherman from Wave Country who went up against a mobster called Gato. Ninjas can be brutal, but sometimes ordinary people excel at it. Gato dealt with the brave man in a truly gruesome way. They hacked off his hands and tied him to a cross, before stabbing him to death in front of a crowd and his adopted son. In the anime, this moment was censored and Kaiza's hands were just blue from the fractures, but even so, this guy is not to be envied. Kisame. The shark swordsman loses the last battle of his life and ends up trapped. Next comes level max selflessness. First, Hoshigaki bites off tongue to interrupt the interrogation. Yes, Shisui, you have a rival. Eye gouging hurts, but biting his tongue off isn't exactly a relief either. After that, Kisame locks himself in a water prison and calls for 3 sharks to eat him alive. That suicide is even more brutal than Leap of Faith Shisui, but it's not even top 3. Minato and Kushina. Opening 3 of the woe leaders is a couple from the Hidden Leaf. Both have suffered before they die. Kushina just gave birth to a son and lost her tailed one, and Minato gave his soul to the god of death. They had a limited time to live. But it was the claw of the 9-tailed one that put the finishing touches to the husband and wife. And that is not an Obito pipe. Just look at the area of impact. But Minato and Kushina have the strength of a plot. So unlike Kisame, who was eaten pretty quickly, they are destined to suffer. The two gave their son a speech, choking on blood for a few more minutes before they died. Jiraiya. He couldn't help but get into this video. Sannin was exhausted from the hardest battle, was left without an arm. Received 5 spears in the back, but his torment did not end there either. Jiraiya survived the explosion that sent him to the bottom, and he was still conscious when he plunged. Can you imagine the amount of pain the man has endured? Yeah, pain lives up to his name. But no matter how hard Nagato tries, he can't top the character assassin in the first place. Hidan. Shikamaru took revenge on Hidan in a way that would make Asuma proud. Immortality turned from a gift into a curse when the Jashin priest was trapped by the young strategist. Nara surrounded his opponent with explosive seals and set on fire. If it had been any other character, it would have been instant death. But an immortal can't get away that easily. He was torn to pieces. It's not one big wound or several small wounds. He literally split completely. The real torment was just beginning. For days on end, the criminal suffered without oxygen, water, or food, until the lack of nutrients stopped the chemical processes in his immortal body. Jashin's powers deserted him, and Hidan died. The character was one of the most evil and certainly the most bloodthirsty in Naruto. So it's ironic that the most brutal fate befell him. That's it for me for today. Subscribe and click on the bell so you don't miss any new videos.